Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our webinars where we bring you the latest insights and best practices from the experts in the field. Today, we are talking about security, but our today's topic is actually a bit unusual than previous one. We are talking about remote controlling and controlling devices that are actually far away from us. In that regard, we actually invited TeamViewer company who will be presenting their solution today and who will tell us more about this part and how to do that one. So in that regard, I will invite my speakers, my colleagues from Prianto company and from TeamViewer as well. They will tell us about remote controlling and how to do this securely and safely, and actually what is it about. Hello, Rodrigo. Hello, Oliver. Welcome to our stage.
Hi, Said. Nice to meet you. Thank you for the invite and glad to be here. And greetings to all the attendees. We really hope it will be very useful and exciting presentation. At least, that's our plan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Rodrigo is also coming from the TeamViewer company, and he will actually show us the demo solution from the TeamViewer and how it works. Rodrigo, thank you very much for coming today and joining us in the stage.
Thank you. Thank you all for inviting us, for giving us this opportunity to discuss a little bit more about security. That is a very important topic since the dawn of IT.
For sure. Actually, I agree with you. We are very happy to have you here with us, and because we have a lot of interesting topics to discuss with you, not only about security, safety, but actually how TeamViewer works. So not to waste time of ours and of course of our audience, of our participants, let's immediately jump on the topic and to discuss it. Basically, most of our audience is already familiar with the TeamViewer, with your solutions, and actually most of us are using TeamViewer as a service to access our PCs remotely. So maybe those who are actually following the football's Premier League, Manchester United, they know that they are actually aware that TeamViewer is a sponsor of Manchester United Football Club. So apart from all this information, can you tell us what else TeamViewer is known for? Maybe Oliver?
Yes, of course. Not to mention, yes, TeamViewer definitely is recognized more than just for its remote access services which they are providing. And of course, you mentioned the sponsorship of Manchester United. If I need to add, I would add also Mercedes Formula One team sponsorship, which also very exciting project and sponsorship relation, which brings a lot of value to the Formula One Mercedes team as well. So definitely, if you are looking to TeamViewer, TeamViewer definitely it's a software company that provides, as you mentioned, remote access, remote control, and remote support platform, which is, let's say, compatible with multiple operating systems. And everybody knows the core solutions, the business, premium, corporate, which everybody, let's say, is familiar using to connect to one device to another device, providing help and support. So that's, I'm quite sure the whole audience and everybody heard about TeamViewer and about these features or capabilities. But beside of that, we need to speak about other, let's say, functionalities and technologies which TeamViewer has, because TeamViewer has more than just remote connection technologies. He has a very strong focus on definitely on the point example supporting IoT devices, controlling such technologies. Also, I need to highlight that TeamViewer has an enterprise-grade level technology, which is called TeamViewer Tensor, which is really designed for robust and scalable remote access purpose. And it really helps to have a proper and secure access, support, and collaboration capabilities for big enterprise customers. And beside of that, we need to highlight and speak about the augmented reality part, which I think TeamViewer is currently one of the pioneers globally. So TeamViewer has a solution called Frontline, which is an augmented reality solution which has in different industries for different purposes, like training people in assembly, in maintenance, in logistics, and so on. So definitely that's a very interesting business unit from TeamViewer side. And I would say I need to add also kind of important part when it comes to remote management of different devices, securing those technologies, monitoring those endpoints and devices. So definitely with advanced technologies, TeamViewer has also features and functionalities and technology which covers that part as well. So I would say TeamViewer portfolio is much more wider and much more, let's say, advanced beside of the core business which everybody knows from the current or the old times, if I can say like this.
Oliver, thank you very much for that one. I have to apologize to all our audience actually if there are some Formula One fans here. Sorry for that. Actually, I'm a football fan and I'm following football. So that's actually my point. Thank you very much, Oliver, for your answer and for introducing TeamViewer to us. Augmented reality is something that we will discuss later for sure. It is interesting topic and it's something to discuss. It's quite hot topic. When it comes to TeamViewer Tensor, that's actually our core topic today that we would like to discuss and to present this solution to our audience. Can you provide us TeamViewer as an overview of this Tensor solution and its primary purpose in enterprise settings?
Yes, definitely. And I'm more than happy to present because I think this is crucial for different industries and different size of businesses as well, not just for the enterprise customers. Because as you will see, if you allow me to present, uh, Tensor, it's as I mentioned previously, it's an enterprise level remote connectivity solution which really provides robust and scalable remote access, support, and collaboration capabilities. If I can summarize what Tensor is providing. And the beauty of this technology, it's due to their strong attributes or features which can be adapted to the customer needs and for different sectors and departments. And definitely three key points which I need to highlight from this is the remote control and support, how we can handle the IoT devices, how we can control them, and definitely the most highlighted part, how we are doing this securely and how we can ensure our customers and our company that everything goes by the compliance and security rules, how we can integrate with different technologies, how we can customize our technology and integrating with other technologies and operating like that, adapting to industry specific requirements. That's also very important, having many different use cases from different industries. And at the end, this solution of as Tensor was designed and planned, it should be scalable and accessible. So these are, let's say, the main points which today we will speak and explain how it works and why there are so many customers globally, big customers, enterprise customers who are using TeamViewer Tensor and why they are using TeamViewer Tensor. If you allow me, I would give a quick overview of the TeamViewer's, let's say, portfolio and the company as mentioned prior. So as you see, it was established in 2005 and almost 20 years on the market. They are one of the global leaders in remote access and remote connectivity. And during the year, they had a lot of exciting acquisitions, a lot of development in their technologies, which resulting in the current portfolio setup and making TeamViewer really one of the most secure and one of the leaders of this market. So what TeamViewer is really doing, and in terms of numbers, I think they are one of the biggest. You can see they have over 2 billion installations globally, hundreds of millions non-commercial users, and covering the from the SMB side to the enterprise level, all the top 500 enterprise customers globally. They provide really good support. They have very good initiatives and ideas how to do it in the future. What are the next steps? How to develop further the technology to be leader in this segment. And very important, they are carefully listening to their customers and users' feedback and always looking to develop and increase the support quality and to provide real fast and efficient support to their customers. So as TeamViewer, if we are looking from this perspective, has different concepts and addresses different challenges or different topics. So starting from the hybrid working model support, so allowing people using TeamViewer solutions to connect remotely to any device from home to office. Definitely during this COVID was escalating this side of business, and we had a lot of opportunities together and a lot of requests to support this initiative. Then we see that there are a lot of challenges around having right, proper human resources. So TeamViewer definitely can help to close that gap in terms of providing the knowledge, the training, and then connecting all the people from different business units to close those shortage of skilled labor. Definitely, TeamViewer is really contributing to the digital transformation independently of the type of the industries and having a very strong leg and focus on not just on IT, but also on the OT devices. And TeamViewer is really brilliant on managing one single platform, all your IT and OT devices in a secure manner. Then beside of that, definitely we spoke about the augmented reality, which is supported by artificial intelligence. So this side of the business, the demand on the market for augmented reality from different industries, it's ramping up, it's increasing, and they require smart technologies. And TeamViewer on this field really offers a smart and innovative technology. And beside of that, the goal, as we know, TeamViewer is with his technology, but with his company strategy as well, is paying huge attention on the environment protection, increasing the sustainability. So definitely with these technologies and with their strategy and goals, they are really contributing to reduce the CO2 emissions to the remote connectivity solutions. So briefly, those are the trends which TeamViewer also is following and addressing with really good cutting edge technologies. Just a quick overview of the business units, which I mentioned also in the introduction. Definitely, as you can see, we can define three main business units. The remote support solutions or TeamViewer Remote. This is the standard core business and technologies, the business premium corporate licenses, which everybody is using for remote support, remote connection, opening, ticketing, so all around control and management of different endpoints, this is the part which I think the whole market knows. After that, TeamViewer saw the potential and the demand and requirement from the market to develop an enterprise-grade level solution. This is called TeamViewer Tensor, which today we will explain and show to you what values brings to partners or to customers as well. So definitely TeamViewer Tensor, it's a more advanced remote support technology compared to the standard remote technologies, which incorporates a lot of security features which are required by enterprise customers or because of new regulations are implemented in the whole European Union or globally, which should be reflected and followed by the service providers or solution providers like TeamViewer. And the last business unit is around augmented reality. So definitely this solution helps to increase the productivity in different industries, like I mentioned, assembly, logistics, maintenance, everything around this let's say industrial zone. Definitely Frontline is the product name. It's a really good technology which helps to provide remote assistance, digitalized all your workflows, and help your customers or your employees to do more efficiently, more optimal their daily work and daily job. So a couple of references and use cases around TeamViewer Tensor, and I think Rodrigo will explain more details, the features, functionalities, and how really TeamViewer works. But before that, I would like to bring a couple of really good examples. One example is from the health industry. where TeamViewer Tensor is really used to remotely connect and support people, example, with special medical devices, to monitor those medical devices. And with this technology, you can save a lot of time, effort, travel cost, and reducing also cost for different maintenance and support, because TeamViewer can help to do this with different medical devices. So definitely, as you can see, Siemens was using and using currently TeamViewer Tensor to provide high performance support for their medical devices. Another very interesting reference case, it's on the Gruppo Cimbali. Gruppo Cimbali is a coffee machine manufacturer, and they are using TeamViewer Tensor to remotely connect to those devices to check if there are any issues, and remotely help their employees or technicians to do, I don't know, cleaning, to change some spare parts, or helping them to really solve any technical issue which is related to the coffee machine. So this really helps to reduce in terms of cost a lot, and helping to use more efficiently the limited number of technicians who are available on the market. So definitely TeamViewer Tensor is helping to manage all those devices remotely, and it's enables the customers to be more digital as well. Another interesting use case, it's an eyewear company. So they have a lot of stores globally, over 2,000 stores. And when they have some issues, technical issues with the computers, with the paying terminals, or they need any kind of support, they are relying on TeamViewer Tensor solution, and they are using to connect remotely, and they can remotely support any issues with PCs or medical devices which they have in the shops. And beside of that, they extended this with the augmented reality capabilities. So using smart glasses, guided instructions, workflows. Also, employees can do remediation on the problems. They can be guided remotely how to do, what to do. So definitely, this is really helping in seamless troubleshooting of any issues. And beside of that, as I mentioned, TeamViewer Tensor is really focusing or has high focus on the security topics. So this solution makes available that everything happens completely compliant and secure. Another interesting technology reference is Bühler Group. Bühler Group is manufacturer and provider of different industrial equipments and technologies, and they are using globally this Tensor technology, where they need conditional access to their technicians, where they can help their employees remotely connecting with trainings. They are helping to check and revise, to have technical controls on their equipments, and also helps them to example with assembly, with quality assurance, and many other things. And with this technology, Bühler had huge savings because their technicians didn't need to travel around 150 locations, so they can use efficiently their human resources. It helped a lot to solve their issues and troubles in a very, very short term. And due to this, Bühler, let's say, downtimes had been reduced drastically. And one of other interesting is from chemical consumer goods company as a reference. Here you can see the name is Henkel, and definitely Henkel is using to cover all these 60,000 devices which they have in their whole group, helping their employees to have always their laptops, tablets, and devices up to date. If they have any issues, the IT experts can remotely fastly connect to those devices, do the remediation, do the troubleshooting. So this had a lot in saving in cost in terms of the cost perspective, and they could realize to have a centralized global IT support for the whole group. And definitely everything, as I mentioned, as is required basically on those enterprise customers, everything should happen in a very secure, audited way. And TeamViewer Tensor is really providing this kind of secure remote connection. So basically, that's shortly an overview of Tensor. So definitely what we see, it's a very scalable technology, very easy, and it can be deployed very, very fast. And it's very smart technology which can be used not just in the enterprise customers. We have many reference cases where SMBs, small and mid-sized customers, are using TeamViewer Tensors. So that's briefly about the overview of TeamViewer Tensor.
Well, thank you very much. It's quite interesting to see all these use cases and how TeamViewer works with these companies and how it contributes to their daily life and reduce high costs and so on. What I'm interested in is about the technology that you are using behind this to connect remotely, whether it is about healthcare technology or it's about coffee machines. Maybe Rodrigo, you can jump in with this one.
Sure, definitely. So thank you very much, Sid and Oliver. Let me share my screen. Let me show you some of the magic that we can do and how we do it. Here in the screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, great. So behind all these technical and these business outcomes that the TeamViewer can provide for those many customers, and we have multiple use cases throughout the globe, we have some of the technical information and the skills and the features that I'd like to share with you and show how it happens. All of us, or at least most of us, knows or have used at least some basic form of TeamViewer connectivity, or some of them not even so basic, but the initial concept is connecting to a remote device. It can be a PC, can be a virtual machine, can be a mobile device, can be a kiosk in a restaurant, for example, or an airport monitor or an ATM device. And anything that we can have a CPU and a network connectivity, we basically can connect to it. But in top of this basic concept of this connectivity, we also need to be very secure and provide the security and make sure that all the security alignments and concerns and features are very well deployed, properly set, and configured for everything and everyone that needs to access or be accessed by the devices. So on top of this, again, basic connectivity, many customers requested us some extra enterprise security features. So we bundle most or some of these security features into our most advanced license, most advanced product, that is TeamViewer Tensor. And I'd like to show you a little bit what it is and one of these features, how it works. So I will not stay only to the PowerPoint. I will keep going back and forth from the conceptual, one slide for the concept on the PowerPoint, then going to live demo with you guys very briefly. So basically, on the TeamViewer side, the entire TeamViewer infrastructure is based on a SaaS architecture. It's a software as a service. So if you use the free license of TeamViewer or the most advanced one that is Tensor, you are all connected to the same basic infrastructure that is a TeamViewer cloud-based environment. And this is not a difference from Tensor from the rest. It's something that is in common with everything else. One additional feature, one initial feature that we have on Tensor is the possibility to integrate with any or the most common cloud identity providers for performing single sign-on, multi-factor authentication, automated provisioning, etc. So for example, if you have Entra ID, that is the new name of Microsoft Azure, that is the Active Directory on the cloud, or Okta, Centrify, OneLogin, Google G Suite, many other different cloud identity providers, we can make this integration and make this effort more automated and more secure. So why this is more secure? Because the less amount of passwords that you have, the better. And also, if you have multiple the factors of authentication, not only the password itself, also the better, because credentials can be easily stolen, ID and passwords, and be reused mistakenly, not enforced by security teams, etc. So having two-factor authentications of multi-factor authentication, it's not a nice to have feature, it's a must-have, it's mandatory for now on. So we can have this integration with a single sign-on, with multiple identity providers to help automate everything and having your environment in a simpler and more secure way. Instead of duplicating credentials, you have one credential in Active Directory, another one in TeamViewer. You have only one. Let's say a new technician, new supporter join your company. You just create his account in your Active Directory. I'm using Entra ID as an example. You create its account inside Active Directory. It's automatically created into TeamViewer environment. And when this account is created on TeamViewer, all the permissions, all the configurations is already set up for that account. When this technician logs in into the TeamViewer environment via web browser, via TeamViewer client, it is pushed back to the single sign-on process with your identity provider, rules and business rules if needed. So it's a full integration, full automation. It's mandatory in terms of security. I will show this in a few seconds. Also, in our TeamViewer Tensor platform, we have the possibility to access mobile devices. So in our other licenses, the previous license that we have on TeamViewer, if you need to access mobile devices like Android or Apple devices, you need an add-on license, an additional license that is on Tensor is already included. So no extra fees for that. Also, we have the possibility to access via partnerships that I will show in a few moments. One extreme important feature and topic for us at TeamViewer is security, especially encryption. So all our sessions, including the free client ones, are end-to-end military-grade encrypted. So nobody in the middle of a session can see what's being transferred from point A to point B. So you can, the sniffer, a router, a monitor, even TeamViewer on our side, we cannot see what's being passed through to the two endpoints. So rest assured that all traffic is encrypted and no one else can see what's in the middle of it. Also, we have one additional feature that is the TeamViewer conditional access that I will show also in a few minutes, that we can provide granular control to who can access what. So it's not only applying some policies to the endpoint, but also now controlling, integrated with the identity provider, the single sign-on, the provisioning, controlling which Active Directory accounts or groups of accounts can access which devices. And also, not only access, but what can be done inside that access. For example, if I can transfer a file to the endpoint. So one group of technicians can connect to a device and transfer files, and another group cannot. So we can be very granular on that rule, control, and all centralized in the cloud. Also, I mentioned a few seconds ago about partnerships. We usually control or make access to TeamViewer endpoints using the TeamViewer client, the full client, when you authenticate yourself, go through single sign-on, have all the permissions set, and you can use to access devices. But the TeamViewer full client is not the only way to provide this access. We can create those access and distribute those access through our partners as well, like Microsoft, using Microsoft Teams or Microsoft Intune, Microsoft Dynamics, or Jira, Salesforce, ServiceNow, ManageEngine. many other solutions that is already deployed in the market and we have partnership with, and we can use these partnerships, these existing solutions to provide and distribute those access. So it's a very important part of our ecosystem. And we have the auditability part as well. On other licenses, we have on TeamViewer Management Console, we have the connection reports. So we can see who accessed, created a session, to which endpoint, when it is finished. But now with the Tensor license, the Tensor solution, we have the full auditability. Which policies were changed inside the management console? Which users were created? When also complementary to the access control and the connection reports, we can see, oh, a file was transferred from point A to point B. We will not store the file in the logs itself, but we will log who transferred the file, by which way, which is the file name, which is the file location, and we can integrate this auditability, these logs, with any CM solution and event correlation management tool that you may have at your company to grab those TeamViewer logs, correlate with your security solutions, and have a much broader, integrated, comprehensive security solution. So if I had only one slide to explain what Tensor is, I would say this is the one. So it's the security connections that we already have, plus single sign-on, automated provisioning, access for mobile devices, auditability, access through partnerships, and granular control with conditional access. We have some other features, but I like to focus more on these ones for today. Also, those technical features, how we can start correlating to business outcomes. So single sign-on, I already mentioned some of them. So automatic provisioning, automatic deprovisioning, automatic changes on your technician environment. So your account, your technician's accounts get automatically provisioned and managed on TeamViewer side. Conditional access, you have absolutely control on any TeamViewer connections that is made in your company. So if you want support level 1 of your team to connect to some devices and doing some kind of access, support level 2 accessing that devices with a different set of permissions, and completely blocking or controlling if they can access anything else on the planet, you can do this with the conditional access through the cloud to the TeamViewer management portal, creating all the rules, and make sure that it is applied to the entire planet at one single click. So it's fast, it's reliable, and it's super important for every company that is concerned about security and authorize the connections and the access to anyone else. The auditability, it's also not important, it's mandatory. If you do not know what's happening in your environment, how can you troubleshoot it? How can you manage? How can you control? How can you audit anything? So full auditability end to end. We have some other features that we can explore in another sessions, like multi-tenancy, creating licenses, sharing licenses through multiple company profiles that we can manage in one single sessions, or providing mobile SDK. If you want to embed the TeamViewer client inside your own app for mobile environments, Androids, iOSs, iPadOSs, we can embed the TeamViewer client into it and make it look and feel like inside your own application providing it, but in the backend is TeamViewer provide all the magic, all the beautiful things, the security stuff that we can provide inside your own application. Also, be very granular about rules, groups, role-based access control, which technicians in your company or which admins in your company profile can do what. So you can be very granular. Some technicians can access the full TeamViewer management console, manage everything, every aspect of the configurations. Some others can only provide connections, can connect to endpoints, and which endpoints, and which access can be done inside of it. So we can be very, very granular about these features. So let me start with the three top ones. I like to focus on these three top today. Single sign-on, conditional access, and auditability. They are very interesting and very easy to show. The first one, single sign-on, as I mentioned. Basically, we are integrating with any identity providers to help protecting your environment against credential theft, centralizing all the password management, making sure that only the people you control, you allow, can be controlling everything else. So not unauthorized access as intended. So let me move away from the PowerPoint. Let me show this live. How it works. Let me open my browser here. So for example, when you open your website, the TeamViewer management console, and you provide one set of credentials, let me type one here, for example, my TeamViewer.com account, will be requested my password, just like any regular TeamViewer account that is not integrated with single sign-on. It's a local TeamViewer account inside the TeamViewer ecosystem. But I have one special account that I configured with a different domain, TeamViewer.de. When I type this, look what happens. I'm automatically pushed to my single sign-on environment that I logged in previously in the morning, and voila, I'm accessing my environment, my TeamViewer client, my TeamViewer browser, and I can access all the devices and start providing connectivity like the old TeamViewer clients. This is working for the web browser. This is also working for the TeamViewer client itself. So the look and feel also from the browser and the TeamViewer full client, they are almost the same. They're very similar, almost the same functionalities. One or the other, we're still migrating for this new UI, but the idea is almost the same. You authenticate yourself with your TeamViewer client, you get pushed to the single sign-on, and with all your identity provider's rules and conditions, after that identity provider validates everything, go back to TeamViewer, okay, this user is valid, please provide him his access. Once you are inside the TeamViewer client, you can connect to any device with one single click, like this one, clicking, connecting, working. So this is how easy, fast, and simple TeamViewer is. But now also with multiple layers of security in the backend that sometimes seems to be hidden or not so explicit because it's made for being simple. I authenticated myself, single sign-on, all the credentials, all the security alignments in place, also with the permissions on the groups, on the devices, then I can simple click and access a device with putting my ID, single sign authenticated, and one single click, I access that device. So this is easiness. This easiness can be also translated into business, like faster times to provide remote support. So less time to finalize the request to start attending all your tickets, all your requests, or your demanding users. It's translated into money easily, right? So this is one of the features I like to show. It's very simple. It's not showing that, okay, pieces configuration, etc. We have all the configuration in the backend, but the outcome is easiness and security in a simple way. So this is the first one I like to show to you, and very interesting. And we can integrate with many other identity providers, like I mentioned before, and here on the screen. Also, the automated provisioning that I mentioned, we go, for example, into Entra ID, and we create all the connectors, all the security configurations behind it, and allow only certain groups of accounts or accounts individually that these accounts will be enabled for that single sign-on process, and also enabled for the provisioning process. So in the same connector, in Active Directory, for this example, the Entra ID, we can do both single sign-on and provisioning. And all the accounts, all the groups that is created inside this enterprise application will be automatically pushed and created inside the TeamViewer ecosystem. So we can start delegating permissions for the groups or for the accounts set in Azure, in Entra ID, in Active Directory. It's all the same name. So it also reducing operational costs. So because it's easier to create new accounts, deploy new users, or even change users from group 1 to group 2. Oh, I need to remember to go to TeamViewer ecosystem and change them as well at TeamViewer. Or if a user, a technician is leaving the company, oh, I need to go back, remember that I need to disable his account on TeamViewer. Don't need to worry about that anymore. It's already included. It's already automated. When you do this on Entra ID, on TeamViewer is done as well. So faster time to deployment, easiness of access, and much more security. This is all combined into one single feature at once. So very important feature for Tensor included in all Tensor solutions. Another topic I mentioned is the integrations. So as I said, we can use the TeamViewer client to perform connections, but not only the TeamViewer client. I can use, for example, ServiceNow. So if your interface with the end users is ServiceNow, we can integrate TeamViewer inside of it. So inside your ServiceNow application, inside an incident, for example, we can set up parameters, the end user creating a ticket via email or via portal in the ServiceNow. And inside ServiceNow, the technician, the supporter that is responsible to help you solving that incident, he can also inside of it create the TeamViewer connections and the access to access your own device. So the technician can easily click on that link, then user also clicks on that link, and connectivity TeamViewer to TeamViewer is made automatically. I don't need to move away from my interface within the user that is ServiceNow to go to TeamViewer, try to find the name of the device, the name of the user. That is easier than using other solutions. But using the integrations, the easiness is even bigger. So we shorten the learning curve to adopt the solutions and integrate with everything else. I mentioned here ServiceNow, but also we have Salesforce. So inside a case in Salesforce, TeamViewer tab over there, with all the descriptions, you can create a new session, you can start a session, close the sessions, have a history of the TeamViewer sessions that were created for that case, for that device. Again, watching learning curve, using your existing tool, your existing interface with end user to connect to it faster, simpler, and in a more secure way. Same way with Microsoft Teams. So we are chatting with an end user on Teams. User is asking for help. And just click here on the plus button, create a session via Teams. Teams will talk to TeamViewer, create all the information in the backend that is needed in a matter of seconds, create a session code, distribute to end user, and then user clicks, the technician clicks, and TeamViewer to TeamViewer connection happens with all the security features inherent to the TeamViewer environment. So much easier, much faster, much simpler to provide connectivity and reduce your first time to response and use all the TeamViewer benefits for every kind of device. So we have many partnerships. I mentioned 3 of them, but we have with many other solutions like SAP, IBM, Microsoft, many solutions in Microsoft, Mobile Iron, that is Ivanti, Jamf, Sophos, Salesforce, Dynamics, Zoho, Zendesk. The list is growing and growing every week. So please, if you're interested in it, let us know. Let's talk. Let's discuss about it. Some of them are already pre-built by TeamViewer and those partners. Some of them, if they're not on the official list, it's easy and fast for us to create this integration and integrate into your own app, even though that's a customized, homemade app, not home, it's a small home, but your company create your own application. We can integrate with that with simple REST API integration between your application and TeamViewer side. So easiness, security, everything integrated. I like to show the conditional access. The conditional access is very interesting. Before jumping back to the web page and the product, I like to show very quickly how it works in the backend because this concept is very important. So In a TeamViewer regular environment, let's say the technicians want to connect to an endpoint. So those two technicians, they open up the TeamViewer client, the full client. They will connect to the TeamViewer cloud infrastructure. They need to authenticate themselves through local accounts or single sign-on processes. But it can be granular at that. And after all the credentials being passed, and you have access, permissions, and controls for that endpoint, you can simply connect the device and connection happens. Pure, simple, straightforward. So this is the regular connectivity without conditional access, without blocking. It's everything allowed. If you have everything allowed, this is what will happen. But one additional layer of security, because security is always layers in top of layers. And if everything is aligned, you have access. One additional layer that we can provide to the environment is going through your firewall, not TeamViewer. Your actual firewall can be endpoint, can be network firewall, and block the access to TeamViewer. So you say that technician A or device A can access the TeamViewer infrastructure, but device B or user B cannot. You just go to your firewall and say, blocking everything. But how do you control if this person is outside that control? Let's say it's out of your network firewall, or it's a supported a technician with local admin permissions. Usually those technicians are the admins with their own devices, so they can remove everything, bypass everything, and go to access that devices, because the other security stuff is still existing, like credentials, permissions, and etc. So access can still happen. Basically, the endpoints are the two of the three components here that are complicated to be managed because they are delegated to the administrators itself. But there is one component, the third one, that they cannot simply be accessed by them. That is the TeamViewer cloud itself. So what we did is TeamViewer conditional access is another layer. It's instead of using of the public routers, we will deploy, TeamViewer will deploy a dedicated conditional access router for your company, for your customer, for anyone, not only one router, but multiple routers for high availability. But this router is dedicated for that specific company. So when the technician opens the TeamViewer client and wants to authenticate themselves, they go through the conditional access first. And then if all the rules inside conditional access are met, then you continue, goes forward, and then connection happens. So even if you have a second technician in your environment that can go through your firewall, it will reach to the conditional access router. And if you don't have a rule that permits you to access, access is denied. So the conditional access is a default deny system, meaning if you have the rule, you have access. No rule, no access. That's valid also for external people. If you have access, go for it. If you don't, you're out. And then if you have conditional access, you can even apply the other rules or the other security layers, for example, blocking the regular public routers. So you make sure that at your company, inside your company, TeamViewer will be only accessible via conditional access and not public routers. So layers on top of layers. This is much more secure, right? So this is the concept of conditional access, how it works. Let me show very quickly in practical life. So here I have my TeamViewer portal. Let me authenticate myself again. Let's go. Okay, here we go. I go to admin settings, and here we have one menu called conditional access that have a list of rules. That is the rules that permit me access or not, and we can see the access of the status of conditional access, if that's active or not. Meaning, if the rules that I have here are applied or not to the entire ecosystem. The rules are pretty much simple, basically sources and targets. So I can have one source type, let's say one user, and meaning my account regardless of device, if I'm logging to TeamViewer ecosystem using the single sign-on process to my home device or my mobile phone, and I want to access anything else, the rule will be applied regardless of device. And I want to give access to an entire device group. Let's say my device is in APAC region, Asia Pacific. So if I have this rule, it means that my account, regardless of device, I can access all the devices inside that APAC region. And I can create a second rule or a third rule. I can create a list of rules and it can be very granular in it. So I can then set for that search to that target, there will be needed an approval. Let's say I can set that one specific group or one specific person will need to approve when that search wants to connect to the target. So these people inside of this group will receive a pop-up or an email. Okay, this source wants to connect to that target. Rodrigo wants to connect to one APAC device. Do you allow it or not? So it's automatic approval. Also, timing that says, I want that Rodrigo connect to APAC only during business hours and not after hours. And so, again, granularity. Or no, Rodrigo will access APAC devices business hours, but I will create another rule for Oliver accessing the same APAC devices only after hours or weekends. So, again, very granular control. And also for Rodrigo accessing APAC devices, I can set that he will need access after confirmation, meaning when Rodrigo click on any device on APAC to access, the end user on that device will receive a pop-up. Oh, Rodrigo wants to connect to you. Do you permit or not? So, and then in the Oliver rule, accessing the same APAC rule, I can set another condition that is no access, after confirmation. So he can access that devices at any time, even if the user is not there. So you can see we can be very granular at it. One group of users, we have one set of rules. Another group of users, we have a different set of accesses. Very granular, very powerful. Let me show this. I have one rule here that says, let me edit this rule, that my account can access that virtual machine I accessed a few seconds ago. I will break this rule on purpose. Let me put another device over here. So now in my list, I don't have access to that device anymore. So if I go to the web portal or my TeamViewer client and I want to access that device, look what happens. Connect not authorized. And this is applied throughout the entire planet. Easy, fast, and powerful security in one single click. This is the beauty and the power of TeamViewer conditional access. If you do not allow a person to access something, no problem. The device can be at their desk in front of me. I am the owner of the device. I have the ID, I have the password, I have everything. But if I don't have a conditional access rule that allows me to access, this is what happens. Connection not authorized. Okay, let me go back, fix that rule. That is this one. Let me add it again. Okay, I made a mistake. This is not the device. So select my device. This is the beauty of a SaaS environment like TeamViewer is. Any proof of concept, any test, and our production environment, it's exactly the same. So here I'm manipulating my TeamViewer company profile, but it's live on the cloud. It's the same feature, same look and feel, same router, same public everything that you have on your public environment. I fixed the rule. Now I have fixed the access. Simple, powerful security. Guys, this is what I wanted to show very quickly. On our slides, we have single sign-on. We discussed about conditional access. The last topic I like to very quickly highlight is the auditability. So everything that we have on TeamViewer ecosystem, the new UI, the old UI, anywhere else, if Rodrigo changed that rule to permit access, block the access, deactivate the conditional access router, change a policy, everything is logged, and we can provide these logs via management console, via API, via CM solution. So you have absolutely control on what's happening inside your TeamViewer ecosystem. This is mandatory for security. You can access that through the browser, through the environment. It goes to the event log, create, apply the policies, the rules, the filters that you need, and you can see rules being changed, access being done, sessions started, session finishing, everything inside TeamViewer. You can filter by event type, by author, by type, by change done in the system. Very much granular control to your environment. Guys, this is what I had for today. Thank you very much. And I believe we are open for questions.
Rodrigo, thank you very much for this insightful presentation. This was really insightful demo, and thank you for showing us what we can all do with TeamViewer. Let's start with the questions. Before asking my question, we have one question from the audience, and the question is actually about number of devices. And actually, is there any limit when talking about number of devices? How many of them you can manage through the single interface?
Okay, nice question. Thank you very much. As any IT system, obviously there is a limit. I can be very honest with you. I don't know that limit on TeamViewer. We have environment with thousands and hundreds of thousands of devices into one single company profile, divided into many different device groups being managed all together as single entity. So definitely there's a limit, and I can make sure that's a very big number. I would say millions of devices probably.
Great.
But that can be
I,
that
I
can be
would,
that can be scaled up. So definitely, how many devices or users we can manage, technically or primarily, it depends on the subscription plan. So what license or
exactly,
package you are buying. And
exactly,
definitely, if you are speaking about 100,000 of devices or something like that, definitely the cloud-based infrastructure and optimized networks should stand behind. So we are very carefully doing the sizing when a customer, enterprise customer joins, and
correct,
tailor-making and tailoring our proposal and technology to their real needs. But
correct.
yes, we have a lot of big MSP providers, managed service providers, who are using IT service providers who are using TeamViewer Tensor to support different end customers in their portfolio, helping them. And we have hundreds of thousands of such let's endpoints or devices which TeamViewer Tensor can handle. So I would say unlimited. Of course, it depends the technology behind, but everything depends mainly on licensing, I would say.
Good. Yeah, TeamViewer, we actively monitor our environment for every second, every minute, and analyzing traffic tendencies all over the environment. So the traffic is always load balanced through all our public routers, more than 1,500 public routers across the globe. But as soon as the traffic changes, the behavior changes, we easily and quickly deploy new routers, new resources, new servers, new environment to attend to those demands. So we are very fast and very reliable to make everything connecting.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And actually, basically, this question aligns with my next question to you, and it's about scalability. So, talking about scalability, that's very often concern for large enterprises if we are talking about them. So, how does TeamViewer address this issue of scalability, especially in terms of managing larger number of devices?
Definitely, it's a very important question. So, like I mentioned, TeamViewer has these public routers across the planet, more than 1,500, that they are load balance. Every client that is open up, connecting, or a full client or the host client, when it's connected to one of those routers, it will balance itself. The TeamViewer master servers, the master environment will control to which routers you will connect and perform these connections. And we monitor that every second. How many connections are there for each environment? And if one environment, one item, one router, one server, one and anything is reaching to closing to some dangerous limits, we properly deploy new ones. It's automatically added to the pool, load balanced again, and the scalability is granted and made automatically for everyone. The idea is you will not be without connection.
And from business perspective, definitely, as mentioned, it's tailor-made on each customer or each MSP or partner. So if they need tomorrow, beside of 1,000 device, two more thousand devices, or they need to add more users, manage users, or whatever they needed, it's very easy to scale up or even scale down if it's needed. So it's a very,
Yeah,
very easy to change on licensing perspective and very in a fast way, I would say.
true. We have all the scale up and scale out. So more resources, bigger resources, or a combination of them automatically provisioned by your team.
But again, this is not customer concern. What let's say infrastructure stands behind. This is not how to say reflecting in prices. It's just about licensing how many users they need. So
Yeah,
it's not customer
true,
and concern
true,
if TeamViewer needs to add additional servers, routers or whatever. So
good.
it's
Correct. So if you have today 10 agents and you need more 10 agents, more supporters, just add a license to it. Or if you need to reduce it, let's make it so. We are flexible. The SaaS
Based.
environment, it's beautiful because of it. It's flexible.
Great. My next question is actually about enhancing the productivity within the enterprises. So basically, could you elaborate on how TeamViewer enhances the productivity within the enterprises, particularly through the integration with various platforms commonly used in organization? You mentioned actually that about Salesforce, Jira, or the Teams, IBM, doesn't matter.
Exactly. So the increasing productivity is always, as almost everything in life, is not only one single answer, but it's a combination of multiple initiatives that must be accomplished together. So we can achieve this increase in productivity in many different forms, meaning by automating the creation of the accounts via scheme provisioning, or the single sign-on processes, or mass deployment for multiple clients. Well, we need to install the TeamViewer client throughout thousands of devices at once. So, okay, let's integrate with any MDM solution like Ivanti, Mobile Iron, or Intune, or Jamf Pro, for example. We can use these solutions to mass scale deployment, so increasing productivity, easiness, and fast. Or even through the partnerships that I mentioned, some of them that will shorten the learning curve for your technicians, for your end users, shortening the learning and the adoption of the TeamViewer solution throughout the company. So combining all those strategies, and we can help you achieve the best and the fastest way to increase this productivity.
when we are doing the let's say sizing and checking what the customer needs are, what are the requirements, challenges, and so on, and what is our proposal. Generally, we are preparing kind of return of investment plan or recommendation. What we see, how much time they are saving, how much travel costs, everything, and they can see real concrete numbers. How TeamViewer trends are helping them to optimize their costs, their resources, and so on. So when we are doing such projects, we have definitely concrete numbers and results which can bring TeamViewer as a benefit to their customers, not just financial, but also from other perspective as well.
Sure, sure. We have cases here that we reduce in 50% the amount of travels that technicians needed to go to the endpoints to provide uh, support for that devices. We imagine doing millions of trips every year, now reducing by 50%. That is ROI almost instantaneous.
That's actually what I wanted to add as a final word about this one is actually even if you just reduce those going there and returning back, so basically you enhance the enterprise, you actually boost that enterprise, even like by saving the
Exactly,
cost of that. Okay,
exactly.
so the next question is about security because we are concerned about that always. So we know that actually security is a paramount. So that's something that, especially for enterprise level, is must. So basically, how does TeamViewer Tensor solution ensured data security and user authentication, particularly regarding the like single sign-on and identity management?
Great. So, as we spoke before, security is always layers on top of layers. So we must have uh, multiple security initiatives to make an environment secure. And even that, it's a cat and mouse race. And we're always pursuing more security and making everything better for everyone. So, regarding that topic, for example, how to increase security, especially single sign-on identity management. Uh, this this connector, for example, between Microsoft Entra ID, I will use it because it's one of the most common environments. The Entra ID connector that will provide a single sign-on feature with TeamViewer. It takes two parts of it, just like any dance. It always takes two to tango. So you must have a TeamViewer connector on TeamViewer side and also the Microsoft connector on their side. And the Microsoft administrators must set this connector with the SSL encryption, the keys that are being exchanged through Microsoft and TeamViewer to make this connector works and all the groups and the accounts that are allowed to use the single sign-on. And also the provisioning itself, which accounts will be provisioned automatically done. So all traffic uh, through the lines are encrypted end to end, but not only end to end, but also encrypted at rest. So traffic at TeamViewer, data at TeamViewer is also encrypted at our master servers, master resources that controls everything. So we have security through everything. Also, all traffic, clients, connectors, APIs, everything they are encrypted end to end with latest security ciphers, latest security encryption technology. So we are making sure, and we are audited every once in a while, every year, every 2 years by independent companies that requires this. We have the ISO 271 certification or TISAX or HIPAA for medical security, medical compliance, SOC 2, SOC 3. We have a lot of different certifications that they are testing us constantly and verifying that we are secure, not on connectors, not only on sessions, but on everything else.
Great. Thank you very much, Rodrigo. My last question is about actually the technology behind TeamViewer and behind what we actually see. So basically, how TeamViewer Tensor allows it provides like stable connection and not only like stable connection, but actually effective remote connectivity, especially when we compare it to traditional VPN solutions.
Nice one. Um, I would say that creating a VPN is just a network access. What we will transmit through that network access, right? Virtual private network, then it's up to you. Can be a remote session like TeamViewer. TeamViewer can run through VPNs as well, for example. And we can also use both TeamViewer clients as the VPN endpoints. We can create a VPN end-to-end through these two TeamViewer clients itself. We have this functionality, this feature inside our TeamViewer clients. So uh, uh, VPNs are very important. They are very old, very traditional, and also secure solution in many different ways and forms. But making sure that this connectivity is happening or make it stable and more effective goes through two major technologies. One is the amount of routers that we have across the planet that are distributing load balancing and making sure the endpoints were connected to each other. But also this after this initial connection between the two endpoints through one of those routers, after all the handshake is done, all the validation, the the, the handshake, the certificate exchange between the two endpoints work and they are aligned, both endpoints will try to connect to each other via peer to peer. So we we'll always try to offload the traffic from the routers itself. I would say a great part of our traffic through the public routers are only for authorization, synchronization, and handshake. After that, both endpoints connect to each other because they can locate each other on the same LAN, the same network, the same VPN. So I do not need to traffic the heavy load of the traffic through the public routers. It's peer-to-peer. So offloading, getting faster, and making everything combined, and also providing functionalities like VPN. So we combine both of environments, so making more stable, fast, effective remote connectivity, not only depending on your VPN concentrator. We distribute the connection after it's done, peer-to-peer, voila, the connection
Great.
is happening.
Thank you very much, Rodrigo, for this answer. And that was actually my last question. So I would like to thank you for coming here, for joining us in the stage, and for sharing what is actually new in TeamViewer. Thank you, both of you, to Oliver and to Rodrigo. And actually, we are certainly looking forward to see actually what is new and what are actually next steps in TeamViewer.
Thank you, Said, for the invitation and to be able to here to present. And thank you for the attendees watching to us. We really hope it was useful. I hope we gave a lot of practical insights and inputs about TeamViewer Tensor. And we are looking forward to request to contact us as Prianto as TeamViewer distributor or contacting directly TeamViewer representatives. So we are here with resources, technical and sales-wise, to support MSPs, partners, or end customers as well with our technology. So we are looking forward to a successful collaboration with all those parties. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much for joining us today and for the opportunity to speak a little bit about security involving connections, and especially TeamViewer connections.
Thank
It's
you
always a
both.
pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you both, and thank you especially to our audience for coming and joining us today. As already mentioned, if you have any questions, feel free to reach us or reach Priyanto or reach TeamViewer. They are always at your disposal. If you have any questions, any information that you require from them, feel free to ask them. Also, I would like to stay tuned about to follow us and to stay tuned about our next webinars. So feel free to reach us, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
See you then.
Greetings.
Bye bye.
Bye.